Hi, and welcome to Conquer the Concept. In this video, we're going to be learning how to create a quiz on Python. This is what the program should do. First, it should prompt the user for their name, followed by a response saying, "Hello, their name." Next, it should tell the user that it's time to start the 20-question quiz. Then, the user should be able to answer the questions one by one, and once they finish the 20th question, which is the last one, the program should print out a letter grade, like A+, B-, or F. It should also print the score percentage-wise they had received on the quiz, like a 95%. Finally, it should print the question numbers they got wrong, like number 1 and number 5, for example. Next, we need to create a file to write our program in. So we can create a new file called, let's name it quiz.py. So we need to first prompt the user for their name, and then followed by a response from the program saying, "Hello, their name." We can program this by saying the variable name is equal to string input of "Hello, what is your name?" This will prompt the user for their name. Next, we need to print their name. So we can do this by using the print function. So print hello %s, which is a placeholder for a string, followed by %name. This is the variable we want to input. Now, the second thing we need to do is tell the user that it's time to start the 20-question quiz. We can use another print function for this. So we can say print let's start the quiz. Now, I can start making questions for the user. For the first question, I can get a user input of an integer from the user for question 1 saying, "What is 235 plus 1234? And they will type their answer. But this should be assigned to a variable so that I can use it later. Let's call it add, since the question is about addition. Let's make the second question. So let's make this a string input. And the question will be, what is the capital of Somalia? And the user will type their answer here when it's displayed. And we can assign this to a variable called capital. And we can do this so on and so forth for all 20 questions. Now that we have all of our 20 questions, we need to create a counter called score so that the score can increase by 5 every time a new question comes. It should increase by 5 because there are 20 questions on the test, and each question is worth 5 points on a 100-point test. So we can start off by saying the counter score is equal to 0 because it has no value at the beginning of the quiz. But as the questions go on, it should increase by 5 each time if they get a correct answer. Otherwise, the score should remain stagnant. In addition, we need to set all of these variables here equal to true at the beginning of the quiz, because they should be considered correct at the end of the quiz. And if they get the question wrong, it should be turned to false, which means they become incorrect. So we can simply do this by just saying add is equal to true, capital is equal to true, and so on and so forth for each question. Now, I must use if-else statements to determine if the user's answer is in fact correct. So I can easily do this by saying if add, which is the first variable for the first question, is equal to 1469, then the score adds 5 each time, like we said earlier, because each question is worth 5 points on the test. Otherwise, or else, then the add should become false, which signifies that the question becomes incorrect, and score should not increase and therefore remain stagnant. And we can do the same for question number 2. So this is the capital. So if capital is equal to Mogadishu, since it's the capital of Somalia, then the score should increase by 5. Else it should become capital should become false, and score should equal score plus 0. And we can do this for all 20 questions. Now that we have the if-else statements for each of the 20 questions, we can print out the letter grade the user has received on the test based on their score. So let's look at an example county's grading scale. So if the scale is if the score is 98 from 98 to 100, they get an A+. 93 to 97, they get an A, and so on down the list. So we can do this for each of these values. So we can say if score is greater than or equal to 98 and less than or equal to 100, then it should print the grade you received is an A+. A+. And we can do that for the every single grade. So if score is greater than or equal to 93, which is an A, 93 and 97. 93 and less than or equal to 97, it should print I think this should be an if statement too, but these are two separate things. It should print this grade you received is A. That so on and so forth, all the way to F. Now that we have we have printed the scores for each letter grade all the way from A+ to F, we can now print their percentage score on the quiz. We can do this by saying print the score you got on the quiz is %I, which is a placeholder for an integer, %score, which is their score, and then followed by another % sign, which is, so it'll say 75%, for example. Finally, we need to print the questions the user got wrong on the quiz. We can easily do this by saying it'll first print the questions you got wrong on the quiz are, and then we can say if add, which is the first question, is equal to false, then it should print question 1, because that's the first question. And false, remember, false means it's become incorrect. And we can do it for the second question too. If capital is equal to false, we can say print 2. And if English false, then print 3. For example, so on and so forth for all 20 questions. And it'll print it only in the case if they got it wrong. Now that we have all of our if statements to see if the user's input may be incorrect and to tell them which questions they got wrong, we can try to run this program to see if it works. So we can bring up our terminal window and run it. Oh, it looks like there's an invalid syntax on line 195. Let's go check that out. So on line 195, we're saying if score is greater than or equal to 98 and less than, oh, we forgot score here. And same on line 198, score. Let's see if this works now. Okay, let's bring up the terminal window and run it. Hello, what is your name? Let me say Bob. Hello, Bob. Let's start this quiz. What is 235 plus 1, 2, 3, 4? Let me just say, I'll just type something random on purpose. What is the capital of Somalia? Mogadishu. What is the overarching message of a story? And that is theme. What part of the cell stores DNA? Nucleus. What is the last name of the 16th president? Lincoln. What the medians of a triangle intersect at the centroid? Which word means extremely hungry? That's ravenous. Which is a classification of living things? Taxonomy. Oh, looks like I spelled it wrong, so I'll be marked incorrect. Let's see that. What type of book genre is The Hunger Games? Dystopian. Quadratic takes the shape of a parabola. Inverse proportion, it takes the shape of a hyperbola. What type of cloud is low-lying? Stratus. What part of the human brain stores memories? Hippocampus. Mount Ararat can be found in which country? Turkey. Who is the communist leader of Vietnam? Ho Chi Minh. Using human characteristics on inanimate objects is called personification. Where were the first Olympic Games held? Athens. The Republican Party is denoted by what animal? I'll make this wrong on purpose. I'll just say donkey, but it's really elephant. What is 1, 2, 3, 4 times 17? Let's check that. That is 20,978. Oh, I typed it wrong again, so it'll be marked incorrect as well. What is the name of the sea not bordered by any land? Sargasso Sea. So let's see what score we are expected to receive. So we got this one wrong, so that's 1. We spelled this one wrong, so that's 2. And we did this wrong on purpose, so that's 3. And we mistyped this one, so that's 4. So we should be getting an 80%. Yeah, like I said, we got 80%, and these are the questions we got wrong: 1, 8, 18, and 19. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like to conquer the concept.